Hi, everybody, and welcome to Homeopathic Voices from Around the World with me, Atik Ahmed Bhatti. And as you know, this is the companion show to the Homeopathy Health Show on the UK Health Radio Network. Now, there's something absolutely incredible coming up very, very soon. And I couldn't be happier to introduce Dr. Timothy Miller, who's live from the US joining me. He is the co-founder of HomeoSummit. And this is an absolutely huge event, 71 sessions. Um, there's 56 speakers, 16 countries represented, and it's a summit over 5 days about everything homeopathy, everything homeopathic. So I think it's more than a seven-course meal plus more, and you absolutely and you're
Save room for
absolutely
dessert and second dessert.
you're absolutely going to love it. So, Dr. Timothy Miller, thank you so much. I know it's short notice, and it's just wow. But thank you so much for coming on Homeopathic Voices.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's such a pleasure to be here.
Brilliant. So, tell me about yourself for those who don't know, because you are the co-founder of
Yes.
Homeo Summit itself.
Yes, exactly. So, my academic background is in naturopathic medicine. And, I completed a doctorate program in naturopathic medicine. And that's where I really had, my training in homeopathy, as well as some extracurriculars. And during my naturopathic studies, I also did a degree in acupuncture, and so kind of over the years, I've been picking up the little bits and pieces and training, of all sorts of different natural medicines, and really seeking the things that are of most benefit to people for their particular cases, and really seeking to use integrative medicine whenever possible, whenever people are open to it, to have the best health outcomes, with the least amount of toxicity, the least amount of side effects, to have this well-balanced approach. And it's actually kind of funny. I was telling Eugenie recently on her podcast kind of about how I came to discover homeopathy. And it was actually as a high school student, and in high school, I had this, understanding of I'm not sure what I want to do with my life, but I know that I want to do something that's helping people. And, at the time, my grandmother was having a lot of health challenges, and I was watching her navigate, the conventional medical model. And while brilliant, and while so helpful in so many cases, I also saw some of its negative effects that were happening for her. And I found that really disheartening, witnessing this person that I love so much,
Hmm.
going through this really difficult experience. And, you know, uh, it really inspired me to want to do something about that, And so I asked my biology teacher in high school, I think I want to help people, or I should say, I know I want to help people. I think I want to do something in medicine, but I'm not sure that I want to go, the conventional route. What options are there for me? Is there something that I can do? Is there something that I can explore, And first thing, tip of the tongue that she said was, "Oh, that kind of sounds like homeopathy. Like you should study homeopathy." And I was like, "Oh, I've never heard of homeopathy before, like what's that?" And so at this point, I head home and, first thing I do is, Google, or at that time ask Jeeves or what have you. And I was like, what is homeopathy? And honestly, in first reading about it, I was like, no, this is absolutely not for me.
Yeah.
I can totally get down with natural medicine. I can totally get down with whatever. But at that point, I was very conventionally trained and also very skeptical. And so this concept of less is more, like, no, more is more. Like, this doesn't make any sense?
Hmm.
And so I was honestly immediately dismissive of it. I said, that's not for me. My teacher's crazy. I'm never going down this road, like whatever. But it was in the exploration of homeopathy that I discovered online naturopathy and how it incorporates all sorts of natural medicine modalities, including homeopathy. And then that was, okay, that's for me. I can fine if I have to do homeopathy, I will, okay. Um, but
Yeah. Okay.
okay. but things, really changed as I went through the program and I learned more about homeopathy. And especially when I saw homeopathy work, I was like, wow, what's in those little pills? What are they doing? Like, that is okay. Like, clearly I need to open my mind. I need to be, shift my perspective around this, because, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. And if it's working, if it's helping someone, even if I can't understand it, like, I don't totally understand gravity. Like, how does gravity work? Yes, okay, mass, the bigger the mass, the greater the gravitational force. Okay, but I don't totally get that, but it doesn't deny the principle that gravity exists. If I have an apple and drop it, like, or, hold and let go, like, it's going to fall down. Like, that is just a natural law. And kind of the same was true for me. I didn't understand how homeopathy worked. I was dismissive of it. And yet, if you see it work, you can't deny that it's working, So I had to change my perspective and really open my mind around that.
Amazing. Indeed. Fascinating journey. And we are going to talk much more about that on the
Mm,
Homeopathy Health Show in the near
okay,
future, of course.
great. Yeah,
Um,
great.
Now, something fantastic, of course, which is HomeoSummit. So, what I really want to know, and I'm sure everybody listening in and those who will stream back also want to know, is how did this come into being? Because it really is something to get excited about. And I'm not just saying that. I genuinely, how excited I am about it,
Yeah.
because I've been messaging you, WhatsApping you left, right, and center, haven't
I
I?
love it.
My apologies, but I just couldn't control my excitement, I I've got to get you on, somehow. Got to get you on and let's talk about this and let's promote it.
No, I love it. Well, a passion of mine has always been education. I have always been very interested in learning. And then I've also always been very interested in teaching. Like, what have I learned? How can I distill all the things that I've learned and kind of share that with someone in a way that won't take them the same amount of time that it took me to learn it? Like, let's expedite that process and let's go.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, and I've always been kind of tech savvy. I've always been interested and have planned and organized many events. And I had seen the model of summits work for other folks, and it kind of inspired this idea of like, okay, here I can blend so many of my personal passions into one thing. I can, educate people, I can organize an event, I can bring people together, which is another one of my, interests. And I really resonated with the summit model because, of course, there are payable upgrades, but payment isn't required to learn. There are completely free options available as well. So someone who may not necessarily have the funds, but has an interest, it doesn't restrict their access to learning something and something that could help their lives. And so, kind of this hodgepodge of all these different things coming together. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think I want to create a summit. I want to do an event like this, to kind of help, change the world, is kind of the thing that like inspires me. How can I help make the world a better place? How can I
Absolutely.
help people? And for me, I think knowledge is power. And, especially when it comes to our health, for anyone who has ever experienced the health challenge, what is the thing that you miss the most when you aren't feeling well? You want your health back. You want your energy back. You want to feel
Hmm.
good. Health is so important. And how, wonderful to help give both lay people, and people not familiar with homeopathy, as well as professionals, more information, quality information to help, them help themselves and to help others.
You know, I absolutely love this model because the fact that you've got different tiers, haven't you? So you can actually take it as free, just like you've explained. You can you can still learn something, or if you want to go to the higher level, we know that there
Mm-hmm.
are tiers. And for
Mm-hmm.
anybody who wants to know more, Timothy, please, the website. Ta-da! What's
Dun, dun, dun. So if you head to homeosummit.com, homeo, just the beginning of homeopathy, so HomeoSummit.com, there you can find more information about the event, all the different tiers that Atika is mentioning. the sessions and, our speakers, kind of the reason behind why we're doing what we're doing. All of that information, can be found right there on our homepage.
And if that wasn't enough to give you a taster, of course, you can go to the HomeoSummit Instagram account, of course.
Mm.
And I've also been promoting the event, and that's at my Instagram account, like_treats_like. But just to give you a taster, some of the names, this name dropping, I love this. Right? A lot of homeopathy. This is like the Oscars, okay? These are the top tier celebrities, okay? And there's loads of them. I'm sorry I can't mention everybody, but hey, get ready for this, okay? So, in no particular order, Dr. Farouk Master, Miranda Castro, amazing, Gabrielle Tro, Paola Brown, Dr. Mitch Fleischer, who has also been involved with the film introducing homeopathy, Luke Norland from the UK, who actually I have the good fortune of seeing this Sunday, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, lovely.
Dr. Laurie Grossman from the National Center of Homeopathy in the US, Jeremy Sher, Jeff Johnson, Dana Ullman, Christina Donker, again from NCH, Christina Chambreau, Carol Boyce, Ananda Moore, and many, many more. And don't forget, I think there's 5 sessions with the maestro himself, Dr. Timothy Miller, called Homeopathic Room 101 or Homeopathy 101. I love
Yeah.
that. I absolutely love that. So, what to expect as such, I suppose, with all these speakers? I mean, it's a very broad range of subject matters, isn't it? So I think there's something for everyone, literally speaking, with so many sessions, there's going to be something for everybody who wants to learn, who wants to engage, who wants to just join, to, just be part of this HomeoSummit.
That was our goal, in kind of creating the event is we want to have as many topics within homeopathy, covered as possible from skill level, from total beginners to advanced homeopaths and, you know, also the range of topics, whether it's materia medica, whether it's repertorization, analysis methods, whether it's how to take a remedy, kind of just covering everything from simple to complex, the wide range of topics and all skill levels. So that way there is, like you say, there's something for everyone.
Brilliant. I kudos to you, for coming up with something like this, because honestly, it's these things which, the reason I get so excited about them is because they actually make a difference. Events like this make a difference. It's very much like what I do on the Homeopathy Health Show, is bringing people together, bringing homeopaths together, creating this community so that people don't feel like they're sitting far, far away. They're not. With technology, we can be together and we can learn collectively and we can raise this flag of homeopathy for the future generations as well. It's so important, isn't it?
I love it. And if I may, I'd love to share a quick story.
Absolutely.
Because kind of on this end, like as much as I love my work, and I believe in what we're doing, at times there's also a disconnect because of the virtual nature of things. Here I am sitting on a computer, emailing with a speaker or, preparing a marketing email or whatever the case might be, and then at some point in the future, someone somewhere is sitting on their computer, watching a session. And there's kind of this, gap between, communication of, the organizers and the end users or viewers. And a couple of weeks ago, I got a phone call from someone, and she had mentioned that she attended HomeoSummit 2020, and she said, which I was so honored to hear. She said, I watched your Homeopathy 101, and she was like, that was the first time that I understood like how homeopathy works and why homeopathy works. And she's like, because of that click, she's like, I then, trusted homeopathy enough to explore it as a possibility for my daughter, who at that time had pandas. And so she said she then started working with a homeopath. And, she gave me the update. She's like, at this point, my daughter is symptom free. It's like we have, our daughter back again, and that I found so heartwarming and so meaningful to hear, because it's like I don't hear that feedback all the time, you know. And to know that events like this, are reaching someone, and someone is able to do something with that information, and it can influence their lives and the lives of those people around them. To me, that is the greatest fulfillment that I can ever achieve. And yeah, keeps the wheel turning.
Absolutely amazing. Honestly, again, greatest respect to you for doing this. I think it's going to be phenomenal. It's probably going to be the best summit to date, anyhow, with the stellar lineup that you have. So I wish you the best of luck, of course. And again, please do share. How do people connect? What are the different ways they can connect and join, etc.?
Yeah, perfect. So the registration process itself, whether it's free or paid, that will happen, ultimately at the HomeoSummit.com website. So you can do that right there, and view all the options and schedule and tracks and everything. But we're also on Facebook and Instagram, and it's at HomeoSummit. So you're welcome to follow us and and kind of check out all the posts and everything there. Message us on there. We love hearing from you guys. So yeah, HomeoSummit.com, and then on social for Instagram and Facebook at HomeoSummit.
Please do follow Instagram and Facebook and show your support. Social media is so important nowadays, and we know this from the film introducing homeopathy. As you know, I've been involved with that as well.
Yes.
And it's so important because we know that Netflix have asked, a certain amount of followers are needed, before things progress. So it's amazing how technology is now driving change, and it's interesting because for 30, 40, 20 years ago, I'm not that old, right? But 20, 30, 40 years ago, this was never heard of. And now, it's the algorithm almost is king, So, but please follow, please subscribe, and comment on the posts as well. Let's really gain momentum, because if you subscribe, then your followers will see. If they see, then other followers will see, and it just goes down like a pyramid, and it's just amazing. So, congratulations again before the summit itself, and I hope it goes very well. And I will see you in a few months on the Homeopathy Health Show.
I can't wait. Yeah, and thank you so much for having me, Atik. And thanks for all the work that you're doing for homeopathy. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. So that's the end of the live stream. Timothy, don't go anywhere. We're just going to end the live stream.